Hello, Apollo 11 Houston. We recommend you accept the now 49. Continue through your sequence of sightings, and then we'll analyze the data afterwards. Over. You're okay.
We survived the eclipse-ocalypse, and only a small percentage of people damaged their eyes. Welcome to the Depths of Jikoku podcast, where we talk about games, movies, shows, and everything in between. This podcast is brought to you by no one. If you want to sponsor the podcast, our contact information is in the description. Dread Pirate.
Say hi. Wait.
Bipo.
What's up?
And I have Kane. What it do, boys?
Not much, man. Been a pretty good week. I got no glimpse of the eclipse, so that's nothing new to me. But I've seen a few, just never a solar one.
We got like 80% up here in the land before time, and it wasn't bad. I poked my head out, looked through some eclipse glasses, saw it, and was like, all right, I'm going to go back to work because I'm an old man.
I just didn't think about it ahead of time. To be honest, had I planned for it, I would have absolutely gone to the music festival they held in Texas.
Yeah, I heard about that. From what I heard, though, it got kind of overcast. Nobody really saw anything, but it sounded like a good music festival. There's some good bands. I
ran into a buddy of mine. Now, I say buddy loosely because I don't remember ever meeting this guy. But he very much remembers me and likes to talk to me. I ran to him the other night, and he went to the festival. He said it was an incredibly magical experience. Like, nice. He got to see the full eclipse. He got fucking amazing fucking pictures of it on his phone.
That's good, man. I'm glad
and
people went out and had fun.
Right. And to be honest, when I saw this like eclipse festival going on, when they announced it, I didn't put two and two together. But also, I got to be honest, I've been so caught up with life that I didn't even know the eclipse was happening until about a week before.
It was a big deal at the office, but like all of our office people, the cubicle dwellers, went out and checked it out, went out to lunch, spent like an hour, spent a bunch of money on the company credit card, and then I just was busy as fuck, so I just poked my head out.
But good for the people who did it. It was definitely, from what I read, the biggest travel day of the year so far.
Yeah, but dude, the Google statistics for the amount of people that looked up right after and up to 48 hours after on Google of why do my eyes hurt?
I gotta be honest, I caught myself looking at it a couple times, just like, nope, this isn't a good fucking idea. I'd paid a lot of money for these eyes. Fuck, I need to go fucking them up for an eclipse.
Right? Dude, they were handing out eclipse glasses too, like everyone fucking was. You could basically go to any public entity and they were like, here, don't hurt your eyes.
I mean, my friend got handed them in the pickup line while picking up her kids. She was like, here, use these.
Good day, sir.
Bunch. They didn't have enough for everybody, but they handed out a bunch.
That's really cool. I would have enjoyed to see it, but I didn't make anything of it if I didn't. Like I said, I've seen eclipses before. It's cool what it was, and the representation of what people see it as. But,
Well, way bigger fan of lunar eclipses too. Especially if you can get somewhere where there's not a lot of light pollution. You could end up like actually, when the moon goes away, all the fucking galaxies and stars and colors of all the fucking universe pop out. It's fucking sick.
Yeah, and here's the thing about lunar eclipses. You can look directly at them bitches, ain't nothing bad gonna happen.
Yeah.
In the middle of the night, it darkens the fucking sky. It doesn't make it brighter.
It kind of depends if you got the moon eyes or not.
Yeah, fair enough.
Sometimes it's a little too much.
I've been a night walker my whole life. I have more moon eyes than I do out in the sun.
Yeah.
I gotta go out, I have to use fucking like sunglasses. I go out, I was like,
Well, that's from the eye surgery. I got that too.
Fair enough.
If it's too bright out, like after the eye surgery, I can't do it without sunglasses.
Right? Like, and I'm okay with it. I got some pretty dope glasses.
I know. I still got a pair of yours floating around here somewhere.
Shit, I've lost every pair of those I've ever owned, including the one you accidentally left to Colorado with.
Nice.
There's a reason I don't spend a lot of money on fucking sunglasses, man. I will lose every pair that I own, like I have. So most of them are either shit given to me by beer reps or liquor reps, or the cool little hippie purple ones I wear now.
Yeah, that one brand I stole from you inadvertently. They're getting real popular out here.
What are they? There's so many that are like them.
Oh, I don't know. I'd give
I
them a
can't
shout
remember.
out, but I can't remember what the brand is, and I think they're in my car, so.
Blenders.
Yeah, that sounds
They're
right.
blender. Yeah, they're blender sunglasses. Honestly, I love that brand. I've bought like 6 or 7 of their pairs and lost fucking every one of them, or given them to somebody. And my experience with them was that when the first pair I got essentially melted in the Florida sun in my car, like they just fell apart at the bridge. I emailed them, showed them a picture, and they're like, "Sweet, we'll send you another pair. Just throw those ones away."
Nice.
So the customer service was fucking awesome.
That's what matters a lot nowadays. Like, I don't care if I'm buying some shit from some weird Chinese company as long as they answer the phone when their shit fucks up.
That's what I'm saying, man. As long as they are willing to do what's right and stand by their product, I'm fine. And most of the time, it has to be more of a local product. Like they're from I think, Southern California, and so like a lot of the in-country brands or even Canadian brands I've had like really live up to their work. Like, we're fucking sorry. Here's a nicer one. It just takes some emailing, the willingness to be an adult and use the fucking warranty.
Yeah, people are so afraid to make phone calls nowadays.
But I'll make however many phone calls I need to if I can get shit for free. I ain't trying to spend unnecessary money. When Frontier fucked me up, I ripped into them so hard they gave me $600 fucking vouchers.
Well, they technically have to by law. They have to give you, if your flight is, I think, more than 4 hours delayed, they have to give you twice the ticket price and reschedule your flight.
By law, but most people don't know stuff like that. Like, I ripped into them at the airport and didn't hear anything back from them. Most people tell me that like they'll give you maybe $100 normally. They're like, "What'd you do?" I was like, "I cussed out everybody."
Sometimes you gotta Karen it, man.
That's true. I am not ashamed to say at this point in my life that I will Karen to get my free shit when you fuck up my plans in life.
True, true.
Because plans get expensive.
Well, talking about spending a ridiculous amount of money, how you liking the new RAV4, man?
I haven't driven it too much. I think I've only put maybe 20 miles on it so far. And so far I'm really liking it. It doesn't have like some of the annoying ticks like your car does, or they're not automatically on.
Yeah, Toyota's pretty good about that.
Yeah, so they have like the sensors to show you if cars are coming, but they don't beep at you.
Dude,
You just see the light. But, like, granted, the side mirrors are fucking huge.
well, yeah, they're trying to like focus it as an off-road vehicle now.
Yeah, so they're like the side mirrors are probably twice the size of my Subaru, but you can see everything on the side of the vehicle. It does have the 360 around when it's moving slowly, so I can pop on and see like a complete 360 of everything around the vehicle.
Nice.
There's a camera installed in the bumper, so if I flip a switch on my rearview mirror, it turns into an HD camera instead of a reflection for what's behind me.
Did you get the Woodlands edition? Which one did you get?
No, I got the XSE, so that's the second below the top, the limited, the top one,
Yeah.
and 2 below the Prime. But I was not about to spend another 10+ grand on the Prime.
Yeah, the Prime's kind of rough.
Yeah, but they have like fucking 350 horsepower, man, and torque.
Yeah.
Because those ones actually are part electric. They're not just hybrid. Like, you can plug those ones in, but I didn't want all that, man. I figured this one is a perfect not middle ground, because the Wilderness is essentially the middle ground. It's the next level up, so it comes with a sport tune suspension to have a stiffer ride, because I didn't want like a bouncy car, a bouncy RAV4 either.
That's fair.
And a big reason I didn't get the Woodland Edition is because, and you're going to laugh at this just like I did, just like the fucking finance manager did when I told him, they only offer cloth seats.
That's a good reason, though.
And that pushed me up to the XSEs because I still got the good suspension. and I had the option for a fucking full moonroof.
Yeah.
And so I opted to get the full moonroof and fiber optic interior LED lights because
Nice.
why not?
Yeah, fuck it.
So I got pretty much everything that you have to get done at the factory, including like the upgraded to a JBL sound system with a subwoofer and an amp installed in the vehicle already. All that came on it too.
Nice.
So it's a nice fucking car. I was very happy and giddy driving the thing.
I bet probably effectively is about as fast as your Subaru was.
Exactly. Even though the Subaru's turbo, it's quick as fuck. It's all mid-range power, so it takes a second. I'm pretty sure this hybrid, because of what it is about as fast as my Subaru was.
Well, also, like, you were running, what, 30s on your Outback?
Yeah,
You had bigger...
265, 55, 17s. So they were not super beefy, but beefy enough to be kind of off-roading, but not enough to where they're not comfortable on the highway. They were kind of the all-terrain ones.
Yeah.
But, bro, those things are so stiff, they couldn't take a curb for shit.
Yeah, well, it's because you were putting fucking utility vehicle tires on your Outback, not fucking crossover tires.
Right. But yeah, I'm very happy with the purchase. And it still does have the all-wheel drive. It's just not sequential like in the Subarus. It pops on when it's needed.
Yeah, it's front-wheel drive, and then it's got that little viscous coupler. And old technology, but I'm happy more people are using it.
And I'm going to be honest with you, I ended up getting some of the extra warranty stuff for it.
Oh, just so you didn't have to fuck with it?
And that's exactly what it is. I explained that to the dude too. I was like, I want this, this, and this. Can you give me this? He was like, I can give it to you for like an extra $2 a month, which is like the wheel and tire warranty.
Yeah, the wheel and tire warranty is worth it. I got the windshield warranty when I bought my Forester, and used it 2 days after I bought my Forester.
Yeah, you told me about that one too.
I was pissed.
Fucking I got the bumper to bumper for 11 years because if it's only an extra $100 a month for the bumper. It was only an extra $100 a month for the bumper to bumper, the tire and wheel, the extended maintenance package, and for gap insurance.
Man, you went full old lady on this. What'd you need gap insurance for? What up?
What's up, everybody? I did I did follow rules. What'd you end up getting?
2024 RAV4 Hybrid XSE, fully loaded.
Toyota, bro. That's what I'm talking about.
I was just telling Poe before we started the podcast that you're kind of the reason I started looking at them.
I've been very pleased with Toyota.
When you started talking about the hybrid Highlander, I was just like, let's see what Toyota's got. And then I liked the Highlander, but it's bigger than I cared for and a little bit more than I wanted to spend.
Toyotas are just the one hybrid that doesn't burst into flames very often. So.
And I got the fucking 150,000. You get a 150,000 mile warranty on the hybrid batteries now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's like exactly. So.
Dude, 150,000 miles, that battery's gonna need to be changed. Luckily, by the time you hit 150,000 miles, there'll be fucking children changing them bitches on the side of the road.
Oh, man. And what's cool about it was, like, I was talking to him, I was like, so when I pay off the car, do I still have to continue paying for all these insurances or extra warranties? He's like, no, it's included in the price. So once you're done paying, you're done paying. And you still get the next, so it'll be next 5 years worth of bumper to bumper.
Nice.
Yeah. I set my payments to every 2 weeks instead of monthly, but the costs are the same, but the accrued interest is significantly lower.
Yeah, that's how I'm paying on the house.
Yeah.
Not even about that, but that's all right.
Annuity thing, if it's roughly like an extra $600 or $700 a month, but it counts as a payment on the end of the loan, and it's completely interest free. So I'm basically making 2 payments every month, but it's only costing me $600 or $700 extra a month instead of the full $2,600 or whatever.
Okay.
But for cars, like, my payment's essentially $600. It's like $580, but I pay $300 every 2 weeks. I got paid every 2 weeks.
Gotcha.
But
okay.
Yeah, I'm paying off the principal, not the interest, which is what you want to do.
Yeah.
And then hold on, I got to give you a intro For everybody listening, this is Baby Back Beach. We're just gonna call him Baby Back. That's it.
Gosh.
That's the intro.
Hi, everybody. It's the correct name for me. A proud moment when I thought of that for a handle.
Yeah, perfect gamer tag. Although I did really like your old one, but I understand why it needed to
The
go
old
away.
one was great. It was impossible to explain without having to go into so much detail of the friend group that I just felt weird after a while.
Remind me what it was.
Oh,
It was
I
family
remember it.
style. Yeah.
What?
Family style. You weren't
Oh.
there. You weren't there for the 21st.
No.
Yeah.
I heard about it though.
Oh yeah, everyone's heard about it.
Yeah.
It lives on in infamy.
You know, it's the first
You
story I
told me
heard
about
about
any time
you
you
when
would
I
get
joined the
drunk
friend
when we
group.
lived together.
True.
What were
It's
you?
the first story. Yeah.
What were you?
Good day, sir.
Or Bipo? I'll change it in editing. It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah. I was like, that's the first story I heard about you when I joined the friend group.
Yeah. It was a
Because
good time. It
Yeah.
it signifies the drop off of my drinking career.
Right at 21, right on your birthday.
Yeah, that was the last time. I mean, I drink every other time, so that was the last time that side of me came out. Although, at my work function when I went up for a Christmas party,
What did you do?
it was like 10, 11 o'clock at night, and the bar I was paid for was feeling good. But I was like, all right, I'm gonna go back to my very nice hotel room and go to sleep because I have a flight in the morning. And people were like, no, let's go. I was like, no, you don't want that. Like, what do you mean? I was like, because if you open this Pandora's box, there's only one way it goes, and everyone's staying out till 4 o'clock in the morning, and I run from cops.
All of those things are true.
I was literally like, I will call a cop a Mountie and just sprint away.
I think we drove home with you sleeping in the hatch of my vehicle.
I did, and it took 5 people to carry me because I was just dead weight, and you tossed me in the back of your old Golf. You
Yeah,
were
the
just
golf
like,
sport track.
yeah, he'll be fine.
Wait. You carried him?
I did.
Quentin,
Yeah,
whoever.
me and a bunch
Hugh.
of people did.
Yeah,
Bro,
I was hefty.
when Beans did that shit like that at Rack 'em Up one time, I just dragged his ass out to the truck.
Dude, that's just payback because the amount of times I've carried you out of that place.
Like I dragged him, and I got help getting him into the truck. I couldn't do that shit by myself, but like I was like, well, you did this to yourself, bro.
It was a fun night that I am still finding out about things that occurred. The shirt did get given away though. That shirt
It,
was
I wouldn't say given away. It was moved on to another life of partying.
that was it's a sad day seeing that shirt go because I held on for it for so long. But it
Sisterhood of the traveling shirt.
yeah, well, I feel bad for anybody who who gets to wear that.
I'm
But,
sure it smells amazing.
It never got washed. It still had drag makeup on it. It had drag makeup and like 8 people's tequila shots I was trying to steal on it.
That's how you know you were having a good time.
There was no
I mean,
trying
I'm sorry.
involved.
Everybody knows you're having a good time. You
It
don't
has
know what the fuck's
juggalo
going
breath
on.
on it. That's the real trust. That's the real issue.
Yeah. Them juggalos, they wanted you bad, man.
They did. Yeah. The problem was, and here's the thing, is like with our friend group, it's a funny story. But I forget that people not in our friend group, it's not a funny story. It just sounds like a horrific, traumatic experience. So when I tell that story to civilians outside of the friend group, they're like, "Oh my god, you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, it was fucking hilarious. Like, this is amazing."
So you totally didn't get
Good day, sir.
Yeah. Close.
close. That's how you know it's a good night, though.
That's the legal description.
It's like when you're around other people and you tell a story like this and you're just chuckling at yourself the whole time and
Yeah.
in memoriam of this event, and like when you're done and you look at everybody, they're just fucking staring at you.
Well, it was like Devil Dog too.
What the
It's
fuck?
shitty. That one still gets people freaked out because I just tell them I walked around with a 5'6" hippie until I met a devil dog and ran off.
In fairness, I'm not a hippie, and it wasn't just me. We stopped at a lot of different camps that night.
The major mistake you did was you were like, oh, Dread Pirate's staying at a bachelor party that he found. I'm gonna hang out with him. Good luck, man.
Those fucking Marines were having a ball.
Bro, they loved us. I don't care.
They did love us. It's because I was just death gripping a water bottle and a Bud Light lime. Not drinking either one of them, but just holding on for dear life.
The times you take
Good day, sir.
stay in the woods. What can I say?
Yes, and for the FBI individuals listening,
Oh shit.
doesn't mean it.
Never a dull moment.
So, let's get on to some of the things that happened in the last 2 weeks. So we got Kung Fury 2's coming out. I'm excited about that.
Has it actually been confirmed?
Yeah, from what I know, it's been confirmed. It's on IMDb.
Oh my god, it is.
It is. Go ahead.
2023.
Did it come out already? Did we miss the release of Kung Fury 2? We fucking
don't
did.
know.
There's no way.
Yeah.
Original.
Oh my god, it is.
Release.
Arnold Schwarzenegger's in this one.
Yeah, initial release was 2023.
Dude,
Oh,
that
God.
Hasselhoff is
know
in
it
this
can't
one.
be. There's no way Arnold Schwarzenegger and Michael Fassbender is in this movie. I refuse to think that it had actual people in it.
You're also forgetting David Hasselhoff. Just don't know.
Oh, he'll do anything for $2.
That's true.
That's true.
is.
He did the SpongeBob movie after all.
Yeah.
Whoa, hold on. Don't be harsh on the SpongeBob.
Listen, man, Kit only gets like 4 miles to the gallon.
How old were you when you watched the SpongeBob movie?
When did it come out? The first one?
I was in high school.
There was a
Was it
SpongeBob
2000?
movie?
Yeah, 2004. So that was 20 years ago. But that was like single digits
I
to put a to put a whole gap between our ages. For
I
listeners that don't know, I'm like the youngest by a hell of a lot of this friend group.
I don't know a hell of a lot. I have the body of an 80-year-old.
Well, you and I, yeah, the age difference between you and me is like
Couple years.
not that
It's
big.
like a couple of years.
But everybody else, it's like 10 years or so.
Yeah. They're predatory. Don't worry about it.
We need a new blood, man. We got to keep the party going.
I was gonna say they feast off our youth.
Yeah. Like that one Rick and Morty episode with all like the immortal old actors that just drink the blood or the life
Bloodborne.
essence. Yeah.
we do not drink blood.
Not yet.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna
I
stay
will say
quiet
this
here.
about the original Kung Fury is anytime. So once a year we go to this thing called Irish Road Bowling, and it's with my significant other's family, and one thing we do every night, because there's like 10 of us that gather, is we watch fuck, I don't remember the name of it. It's like really, really weird movies. The same guy like directs and edits them all.
Like Kung Pao?
No, they're like known to be terrible and like really low budget. But the thing is, I'm never gonna remember what
I'm
the name
interested.
is. Yeah, the end of the story is like these movies are terrible, but they're meant to be terrible. Like they're like The Room. But I will always
God.
end with it with like, you guys thought that was a good movie? Let me take 45 minutes of your life. And I put on Kung Fury, and within 3 minutes, everyone has got popcorn and just the happiest thing ever.
That used to be how I like if I let anybody hang out in my old place when I lived in Riverside first. That would be like the introduction to my home. Like, yeah, you got 45 minutes to kill and like smoke a joint or a blunt, and they're just like, yeah, why? Like, I gotta show you something. And I would pop on Kung Fury.
This sounds so much creepier than it really is.
Now really making this friend group seem not predictable.
It's like,
Got 45 minutes to waste. Here's a blunt. Let's chill.
I gotta show you something. It's in this hole in my basement.
Your basement hole is insane, though.
This is Florida, man. There's no basements here.
That's what makes it scary.
Yeah.
Somehow this
You're the
one
only
way
person
around.
with a basement in Florida.
No, there's a bar with a basement here. It's actually kind of cool.
Oh yeah, it's all like fucking Friar Tuck-esque.
I mean, it's all Belgian beers. It needs to be.
There's way too many cages in there for motherfuckers not to be playing Dungeons and Dragons in there.
I
Oh, yeah, definitely
I think
Dungeons and
people. I
Dragons.
think people have.
I mean, I'm about it.
Fuck yeah.
Let's see.
So how do we feel about the Fallout show, guys?
Oh yeah.
I'm in love with it. It's so good. I got one episode left.
I haven't seen it.
I finished it. It's Poe, you got to see it, man. It is, I will argue, better than Last of Us. And I loved Last of Us. I'm not taking anything away from that. But I think it's better.
I played the Last of Us game. I didn't need to watch it because there wasn't a fucking difference. Like,
I mean, it was just the story of the game, but they did a really good. They did a phenomenal job doing it and making it true to the game and not changing too much to make it screen worthy. And they did a good job with all like the clickers and all the different like mutations too. So I think they did a phenomenal job with it. I already knew the story, so I knew how it ended.
I think they're doing a season 2
of Last of Us.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it made them just infinite amount of money. But I will say this: I think they're different shows. Like I think they stay in their lane, but it was.
I mean, we're just on the topic of video game adaptation shows as one group.
Yeah.
In that sense, I think it did a better job because it was an original story and it was an original character. And the way they played the character out is if you like were playing, say, Fallout 4 and you're this new person out of this vault. You lived in a vault for so long and you don't know how the world is anymore. So it plays out like the video games play out, and I thought that was really cool, and they could make that work in a storyline for television as well.
So it's supposed to take place like 10 or 15 years after Fallout 4. That's why it's in the same universe. They could just use all that shit again. But yeah, I fucking thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm an episode and a half in because it's hard to watch with a child around. But
yeah, episode 2 is really hard to watch.
It goes in pretty hard pretty quickly, so that's fair.
Yeah. The wife was super surprised about all the cousin fucking right from the get-go. And it was like, well, they're stuck in a vault. And like, I was surprised how quickly I defended it.
Again, doesn't help defend the friend group of the.
I mean that's a
Does a
great
lot of
like. That's a great description of this one group. It definitely lines up. It has a lot to pull from. Like, there's a lot of material to pull from. And they are just pulling from it with a joke. Although, I didn't realize it, but I find it hilarious now is... I forgot who it was, but some famous actor was like, isn't it interesting that Christopher Nolan, who directed the making of the bomb in Oppenheimer, his brother is the one who made the TV show about the dropping of the bomb. And completely irrelevant, like, no tie, no knowledge about each other, either one. That entire family is just all about nukes.
I mean, who's not about nukes?
They make for good entertainment.
Too.
Best way to clear some land on this planet.
Would you guys vault, or would you get your own land and just try to live through it?
Oh, dude, I am a fucking wastelander all day long. I have a pretty dark theory about this. If the apocalypse happens, I want one of two things to happen. Either instantly die, because then it's suddenly not my problem, or I want everybody that I want to be safe, that I don't trust, to come be a Ravager or a Crusader or whatever I decide to become with me to immediately die. Therefore, all I have is savages with me, and I don't got to worry about protecting anybody. And then we start doing some, like, I wouldn't call it domestic terrorism, because at that point there's no domestic. But, like, let's go do some fucking fun boogaloo shit. I know how to build transportation. I know how to build guns. I'm very well versed in the art of explosives. I think I'd do well.
You know, the people who run Mad Max, like the people at the top of the food chain, they seem to be having a grand time.
Yeah, who runs Tinkertown, motherfucker?
No. Just don't want to be a pawn. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the vault thing. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but for anybody who's played like the Fallout games or understands the backlore, or if you got like episode 7,
I'll throw spoilers. I'll throw a spoilers tag on the bottom of the video, and for anybody going forward, there's spoilers.
Yeah. I didn't know that because I never played Fallout, but I got hit with social media and it spoiled it for me. The fact that there's just like somebody was like, all right, we're just gonna do all these experiments. Let's just see what the human brain does. I love that. I love like social experiments.
That's the cool thing about the Fallout games is you're always in like a vault that wasn't an experiment, but you always find a bunch of vaults that are experiments, and you get to delve in. You're really just reading text on a computer screen, but like
Right.
you get to dive into all these crazy fucking storylines. It's like Warhammer stuff. I'm super interested in all the Warhammer 40k lore. Could give two fucks about the tabletop game. Tried it. It was fun. I don't have that kind of money or time in my life.
Yeah.
And
Episode
I'm not
7
that meticulous with those fucking figurines, man.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's something I'm glad I never picked up.
Bro, that's an expensive hobby. I started trying to pick it up, and I couldn't afford it. Like, I got to a half an army, and I was like, I just have no more money to spend. I'm a fucking teenager.
That's the thing is Warhammer 40k tabletop is a rich man's game.
That is absolutely.
You know,
Or a poor gambler's game.
yeah. Although what bothers me as a slightly overweight, ugly individual is when motherfuckers like Henry Cavill come in, just God's chiseled him himself, and he's like, "I love this game." He's like, "You don't get to be hot and a nerd. There's rules in life."
Yes,
He
you
also is a PC gamer and has built a PC. And like, have you ever seen like those YouTube shorts or whatnot of like the people trying to like sexually make donuts or whatever? He did that with a PC. So
He did
dude
a
can do what he wants.
very erotic
Bitch,
PC
I'm
build
hot and a
video.
nerd. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
I was gonna say, I don't know what porn you're watching, but
Hey, don't kink shame here.
my bad.
Listen, we all have our own stories, man.
But yeah, he's such like he's a very obvious nerd, and then he worked his entire acting career just so that Amazon would greenlight a 40k series, and he's just like, I don't care as long as it's by the book. I mean, that's why he got kicked off of Witcher.
Well,
Which was
they were
terrible.
going away from source material anyways.
Well,
Yeah.
that's why he left. He was
I
just
know.
like, it was so dumb. I
Have
wish
you
they would
seen
have used
the-
source
What's
material.
his name as The Witcher?
Oh my
Like,
God,
the
it's gonna be
pictures
so
of
dumb.
him. I just
Liam
terrible.
Hemsworth, I think
Yeah.
is the new one.
I don't like it.
Thor's brother
My-
became the new Witcher?
Yeah.
That's
And the
dumb.
problem is, like, I can see Henry Cavill's voice being the Witcher. Like, I have it now. So the second this guy talks, I'm just gonna laugh. I'm like,
And
so
it's like-
close.
It's like when you find the perfect character to play the perfect part. That's what Henry Cavill did. It's like you could never get anybody else to play fucking Deadpool or
Right.
Wolverine properly.
Yeah.
Like these characters and these actors seem more completely made for a part, and that's what Henry Cavill did, in my opinion, with the Witcher character.
Absolutely. So I did figure out who that weird director actor was. His name's Neil Breen. I put it in our chat. If you guys want to, and I would never, again, for the FBI individual listening, I would never purposely suggest the consumption of narcotics or illegal drugs. However, 1000% do it and watch any of his movies and tell me you don't just go into a hole.
Dude, this dude looks like the Indian knockoff of the dude falling off of Nakatomi Plaza.
It is any one of his. It is so he is. It's kind of like I said, The Room, where it's like very small budget. He's in Arizona, and he is like aliens and like, but because he's directing, he can make all the cuts. So he'll have like hot chicks just hanging around, and then they'll get murdered. But right before they get murdered, there'll be a really tasteful nude scene. For no reason other than as director, he gets to see the chick naked. And you're
Dude,
just like, fucking respect.
his movie list sounds like Cinemax porn.
Whoa.
It is. It is. It's
He
like
looks like Cinemax porn.
highly, highly suggest watching him.
Love this.
Because
Fateful endings.
Yeah.
Twisted pair. Cade,
So
the
again-
tortured crossing.
People tried to describe to me his movies before, and they watched all of them. They were like Neil Breen diehards, and they're like going through it, and I'm like, it just sounds like it doesn't make sense. But then you watch it, and just 2 hours of your day go by, and you don't remember anything happening other than just be like, wow.
Is this
That's
the
really-
dude you were talking about that does like it's similar to The Room style?
Yeah, that's this guy.
Oh God.
But it's all of his movies. He's got a cult following, like a genuine cult following behind his
I'm
stuff.
pretty sure The Room scarred me when I was a teenager, like a young teenager, preteen.
That
I
was a
think it
terrible
like
movie.
preteen.
That was a terrible movie, and the documentary about it being a terrible movie was also a terrible movie.
Yeah, it was fantastic. There you go. That's now
Fair
your.
enough.
This is now your watching pleasure.
Well, I know what we're doing next time you come into town, Dread Pirate.
All right, I'm fucking down.
Yeah.
None of them even hit a 5. Oh wait,
He's got a
Retros-
6.3.
oh, damn.
But it's the it's the best 1.6 you've ever had. just like horrifically like murder scenes that don't make any sense, and then hot chicks. It's like the dude is just a kid who is in an adult body with just like the worst hair ever. But
Okay.
shout out to Neil Breen if you listen to this, big fan.
I'm willing and able to watch this.
Hopefully, if we get guests, I will reach out to him.
When this gets big, I want this part recorded. Neil Breen is going to be our guest.
Jesus. So, back on the Warhammer topic and talking about how it's way too fucking expensive. Bro, 2 squads of Tyranids and 2 squads of Space Marines with the starter set is $100. Unpainted.
It's not a.
That is
But you
insane.
Do they come put together, or do you still have to put them together?
You still got to put
Like
them
the
together.
end of it, motherfucker.
Well, but you could technically resin print them, right?
So, one
now
of
if you
my
wanna play in
coworkers
tournaments.
is a huge 40K nerd, and he's super into it. He's actually sounds really spiteful that his wife did the terrible thing of having his children because it took him away from 40K.
Caveat: we do not print 40K characters in 3D printers.
No, fuck
Yes,
that. You print them,
no copyright laws.
print whatever the fuck you want as long as you're not selling it. You're not breaking any laws.
Or playing in tournaments because they will kick you out.
Yeah.
Be
Those
mean about it.
motherfuckers are mean when it comes to that product.
The going rule of Warhammer and Warhammer 40K tabletop is, I think, 60% of your figures have to be authentic
Games Workshop.
Games Workshop, thank you, figures, and the other 40% can be printed, because they've opened it up in the latest set to where it's so hard to buy the figures nowadays, just because as soon as they put out like a new squad of Space Marines, everyone will pre-order it, it'll be sold out before the pre-order's over, and then they'll ship out, and it's just hard to get sets. So they've kind of gotten a little more lax on the 3D printing.
Okay.
As a
So I'm
caveat,
3D printing the big Titan.
yeah,
Gotcha.
as a caveat, I do not play the tabletop, so I do not know if any of this is true. This is just hearsay. But I don't need Warhammer nerds chasing me down the streets. But yeah, so I'm pretty cool with that. I remember when I worked at a Hobbytown USA way back in the decades, 3D printing was just becoming a thing, and Games Workshop would pull our license if we let people play with 3D printed figures. Like, we would lose our ability to sell Warhammer.
Can I hold your thought for 1 second? I just got a text from a friend saying Micro Maidens in Jacksonville, Florida is an event.
Micro Maidens? This sounds right up my alley.
Oh, can you because now all of us have to know.
Oh, it's
explain?
exactly what you're thinking.
I'm on their website. It looks like that tall bitch is trying to fucking go in as a midget. God damn it. Or little person, or whatever the fuck you want to be. You know what? Comment in the section below if midget is offensive to you.
What's the website called?
I've asked a midget if it was offensive, and they told me no.
Yeah,
We
I was
wrestled with
there.
them. We watched
I
them
know.
wrestle.
It was in that hotel room in little bumfuck Egypt with a
Is
bunch
it
of
a
midgets.
is it a midget burlesque show? Is that what it is?
Yes.
It is a midget burlesque show.
Well, it's mostly a midget burlesque show. There's one 5'1" blonde bitch.
That's not fair. She's not allowed to be. Come on.
5'1"
One
not
of them,
midget.
the top
one
cat.
of them is 3 feet tall.
Yeah, you're gonna have someone that's like legitimately 2 feet taller than them do something.
I know it's a tape measure in the photo, but it looks like she's using a cane to stand.
It does.
Okay.
I just got that text, and I think my buddy knows me.
Yeah, this is dope.
I think I might go to that.
You should let me know, and then you should heckle Sage for being a regular-sized human masquerading as a little person. Although she does have
Right.
a dope fucking Cheshire cat tattoo on her left arm.
But back to games and Warhammer. When you was at a hunt, sorry,
Continue what you were talking about. I just had to
I
get
had-
that out
'cause
for a
I had to
second
hop
so
in on this.
everybody knew.
as someone who plays trading card games, TCGs, CCGs, whatever you want to call them, in a more normal manner, almost competitive. When you said 2 things for $100, I'm like, man, that's cheap. Because how much?
I
So
don't know.
how much is the 2 squads? How much of like your army is that if you're buying 2 of those for
A
the
tenth.
$100? A tenth? Okay, so
So you're
because some decks I have are like almost $1,000.
yeah, but
because
you
of cards.
you piecemeal your decks together, so you're gonna end up with that. You can get lucky with regular booster pack pools and get the same deck.
Oh, I'm just talking about just in general, like just sell one of my decks as is, like as just like a whole deck and not piecemeal it is about like 9 to $1,000.
But so Warhammer, what I used to tell people when I sold it pretty regularly, because they'd come in and be like, "Hey, I'm thinking about getting into this. This looks really cool," and I would be like, "It is really cool. You are not wrong, but do you have $2,000 and like 150 hours of spare time?" And they'd look at me all confused. I'd be like, "You're gonna spend like $1,500 to $2,000 on just figurines and codexes and rule books for your first army, and then you're gonna spend a couple $100 on paints and painting accessories, and then you're gonna spend, I don't know, a month and a half of all of your free time getting all of these paints perfect, and then you're gonna get to your first game and you're gonna realize that that squad with a flamer is not the squad you want to run, and then you got to go buy another squad, and then you got to paint those fuckers because their arms don't come off. You can't just switch their weapons out willy-nilly. Like, them bitches are glued on.
Is there no, because a lot of the card games I play also have simulators that are like either fan made or are like licensed and are free. Is there anything like that for Warhammer?
Kinda.
Like I know they have a chess game that I have, but that's not.
There's it's Warhammer Total War. Total War has a Warhammer RTS, and while super fun, I think they're on their 3rd or 4th iteration. It's not like the game. There's not, that I know of, there's not a true digital version of Warhammer or Warhammer 40K. If there is, I would totally check it out. I had a blast playing that game, but the only reason I played that game is I fucking worked there, and I had to create a workplace army so that when people wanted to come in and learn, I could teach them. I didn't pay for any of that shit. And then when they fired me, I kept it because fuck them.
You're like, okay, fire me. I'm taking my army with me.
Well, yeah, that was one of the weird times. I haven't been fired very often in my life, but that was one of the weird times where I got fired for a really dumb reason. And even the owner was like, "Yeah, you got fired for a really dumb reason," but his wife's the one that fired me. So he couldn't.
And he was whipped.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
well, he wasn't whipped. He was a white Christian dude that married an Indian chick. That was terrifying. Like,
I
whipped.
think it's whipped, but in a more like
Yeah,
traumatizing manner.
traumatized is what I would go with, not whipped. But I got fired because I told him about a spider that was in his cup at one point after she had told me not to tell him because he was terrified of spiders. But I want him drinking a spider.
So you were a kind human being,
Yeah, this
and that's why you were fired.
This is why I'm
That's
no
when he
longer
learned never
a
to
kind
do it
human.
again.
Yeah, I'm no longer a kind human being. She ruined me for everyone.
Yeah, thanks a lot, whoever you are that owned the Hobby Whatever USA, ruining our man over here. He could have been nice and sweet.
It's all right. The place is long gone by now, anyways.
He moved on to bigger and better things. I actually still talk to him pretty regularly.
Is he still married to the traumatizing person?
Oh yeah, dude. When I was working there, he had a son and a daughter. I think the daughter was the older of the two, but his son had brought like an obviously toy gun to school just to like be like, "I brought a toy gun to school." He was like 8, right?
That's okay.
And I'm talking like it was like neon green and the whole barrel was orange kind of toy, like something you're not gonna be like, "Oh."
Like a Nerf gun.
It was like a Nerf gun, but it didn't shoot anything. It just made noise. So this girl, Sheba be her name or whatever the fuck they say, made this poor fucking 8 or 9-year-old dig a hole in the backyard and then put everything in his bedroom in the hole and then make him bury it. And then he had to work for the next year doing chores to get his bed and his like TV back. And they had to go buy new shit because she didn't think to like wrap any of it. Yeah, she was nuts. She was batshit crazy.
Well, hopefully she's calmed down over the years, or
I
just
don't know. I was also like 17 or 18, so I wasn't the nicest human being on the planet. Also running a fucking game section of a 50,000 square foot hobby town all by myself. It was a little awkward. It made a lot of bad choices. We had a policy where we could make discounts. Like as long as we were charging like 5 or 10% above what he paid for it, we were good to make deals because we sold a lot of high-end like remote control helicopters. I'm not talking now where they have the IR stabilization and all that bullshit. I'm talking like back in the day where if you fucked up, you got a carbon fiber blade 50,000 RPMs to the face. The old school dangerous shit. And so we sold a lot of that, and a lot of those guys were older hobbyists, and they didn't want to spend $200 in carbon fiber helicopter blades. So, you know, you mark it down, still try to make a pretty good profit. So what we did was me and, Ryan, you might remember her name, the stripper. We hired that stripper.
Neither at it.
I forgot you guys hired a stripper.
Yeah, she couldn't bend at the knees. It was amazing.
At one point in life, that was a surprising thing to me, but at this point, I have dated enough of them and known enough more that it's I forget all of them.
Strippers are people too, Dread Pirate. God.
I agree, but that doesn't mean I have to remember all of them.
But at any rate, me and her had a deal going because she was trying to get into all the nerdy shit. She got super into Magic the Gathering. That I would be the cashier when she wanted to buy shit. So I'd mark it down to literally 5% above cost, and she would do the same thing for me. So I ended up with like a Traxxas Jado, which is an RC car that did 70 miles an hour. I ended up with like a couple cool RC helicopters, a couple cool drones when they first came out, for pennies on the dollar.
I think your discount is the only reason I could afford to buy Warhammer 40K like figurines and items.
Yeah, I would give you guys fat discounts.
It's the only way I was able to afford even half an army was with a fat discount from a buddy.
Yeah, I was a terrible employee back then. I understood that. But
How we've all grown.
I mean, I'm a terrible employee now, but people like trusting me to do things. It's weird. But yeah,
They'll learn.
It was, yeah, that's on them. They hired me. The place was a cool place to work at. Like, all in all, I had a good time. I also worked at the Scottish bakery that was next door. That was a fucking terrible job. Fuck that guy. But, yeah, Hobbytown was a good gig. There's still a couple of them floating around nearby where I live. And we pop in every once in a while for the kids' RC cars.
And they had the full setup for fucking flight simulator too.
Yeah, we had that E-Flight RC flight simulator.
That thing was dope. Teaches you real quick. You don't know how to fly a fucking helicopter, like an RC helicopter, because it was all like proper RC controls. Never figured it out.
Dude, I probably 4 hours every 8-hour shift I was on that flight simulator. Like, just to be honest, I spent way too much time on that. Dude, we had a dude that was so good at flying helicopters. He'd do these things called pyro flips in the store. So he'd take like a 60 series helicopter. For reference, these are about a yard long. They have like a 30-inch blade diameter. So he would take this giant fucking RC helicopter, gas powered, nitro powered, and do these crazy pyro flips in the store. It was insane, and not hit anything, and we didn't have high roofs. I think our roofs were 10 feet. So he'd do them over the gaming table and just like perfect pyro flips every time.
That's fucking dope.
Yeah. Yeah, all in all, good experience in my opinion. I got to play with a lot of cool RC cars. We had a bunch of them that did 60 mile an hour plus. And, you know, the cops like to come over and use their radar guns because they'd be like, it doesn't do 60. And they'd hit it with the radar gun, it'd be like 63, and they'd be like, holy fuck. Like, yeah. Give me a couple.
You can build those things up to scoot.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the kids got a couple RC trucks that do like 40, and they're battery powered now, not even nitro.
Yeah, we were supposed to take them out when I was up there, but I think all the batteries were dead when we finally decided we were going to do it.
Yeah, they stay perpetually charged now because he uses them almost every day.
Nice.
Fucker melted a servo a couple days ago.
Damn.
Never seen
Jeez,
that before.
Interesting change of topic.
Okay.
It's going to get a lot of viewership. Hear me out. Women's professional basketball.
Oh, you've piqued my interest.
Dude, people are getting
Have you-
super into it right now.
Have you seen the #1 draft, Caitlin Clark's salary for the next 4 years?
No.
Oh yeah,
Your
I've
boy
seen
gets
it.
paid more than a professional basketball player. Most people do.
What?
She's making $76K a year. And then, by the way, that's not after tax.
Yeah.
Are you shitting me?
76K
No.
for her first, 78 for her second, 85 for her third, with a possible fourth year option of 97.5.
#1 draft pick.
Jesus.
Biggest thing to come into women's sport in a while. I mean, she can shoot almost as well as like Steph. Like if you watch this lady, it's really impressive how she shoots the basketball.
The only reason
That's
why
all she's getting paid?
And she's getting paid less than like a McDonald's manager.
Holy
the only
fuck.
reason why Iowa didn't, or yeah, she played for Iowa, didn't win the national championship is because there's no one else on her team to help. Pretty much,
Yeah.
the other team literally had like 4 or 5 solid players
Mhm.
that could just outplay the other people besides Caitlin Clark.
Correct.
And then,
I have a hot take
I mean, it
on
was-
this.
That should be good.
Oh, God.
oh god,
So,
oh god, okay.
women's
Should we put up like a
basketball.
warning sign?
No, fuck them. Women's basketball. Nobody watches that shit. Like, I get
Correct.
they
Yeah.
want to get paid as much as the average NBA player. I get that. I understand. Put asses in seats. When you put asses in seats and the
Okay.
people hiring you are making money, you will get paid more. That is how business works. We live in a capitalist society.
I've got to interject on a little bit here, and I'm not saying all of what you're saying is wrong, because I have made the comment many times lately, because as somebody who works in an industry where I get to see what people are kind of into at different times in this world, there's been a big uptick on women watching, or people in general, everybody watching women's basketball. And until you just explained that to me, I had no idea why.
There's
There's a big uptick in it right now. People are watching it because of this player.
no, there's nothing. Yeah, she's a huge part of it, but there's also nothing else on. Just like everyone becomes a huge Masters fan when it's Masters weekend, and then
I
when
mean,
it's
I have to put on golf all the time at my job. We get some bougie ass people in there,
right.
but
It's-
like just everybody else, dude. People stayed like an hour and a half after we fucking closed one night to finish watching the women's basketball game, and I'm just like, what the fuck is going
Yeah.
on? Because I've never seen people that care about it, and so
Well,
on that one, you're right. There's a lot of people that don't really care about it. It's not super popular. It's
She's-
hopefully becoming that way.
she made more money through college through NIL deals than she will ever see in the WNBA. She was making a couple $1 million a year. As like
Yeah, 'cause they legalized that a couple of years ago, right?
they
Yeah.
did name, image, likeness, NIL. So she's gonna make more money in like sponsorships, but it's funny to think that, you know,
That's
her-
why. That's wild, man. But
After
I'm in the belief that how much we pay national or like these professional athletes is fucking insane. Personal opinion, hot take. I don't give a shit what nobody says. It's insane.
But they put asses in seats.
That's
Yeah.
fair. That's fair. But so does the rest of the world, and they don't have to pay their fucking like. While they pay them good money, they don't pay them as insanely as we do. You're
So-
talking one player is going to get one player. They're getting upwards of 50 million a year now.
unless you're Saudi Arabian, in which case
Yeah.
money doesn't matter.
That's a whole nother topic right
Yeah,
there.
it's a whole other
So-
thing.
After the, what's her name? Caitlyn Jenner, Caitlyn Garner, Caitlyn, right? The Russian.
Are you talking
chick-
about the Caitlin Brittany Garner?
Brittany Garner.
Brittany Garner. Oh
I
my
was
God.
close. Whatever.
Griner. It's Griner.
Brittany
Griner.
Griner. Is the uptick in women's basketball because of the Brittany Griner thing? Like
No,
that's
it's because of Caitlin Clark. I mean, it's a mix of both.
I don't know. Brittany Griner was like, again, it was a spike in viewership, but it didn't
From
last.
what I've seen, it's the Caitlin Clark because she's
She's like the
this
Michael Jordan
incredible
of the WNBA.
player, and she's very exciting to watch. She's doing a lot for the sport.
Yeah.
Much it's supposed like I guess what Poe said. She's kind of maybe becoming like the Michael Jordan of women's basketball.
Well,
Again, I don't watch it. I don't know. I just have noticed the people caring more.
There are people that like first round draft picks of the NFL draft. Their signing bonuses is more than what she makes in a year.
the league minimum in the NFL is like 1.2 million.
Yeah.
I make more
So,
than
like-
this bitch a year. It's not a high bar to hit.
Correct.
No, I know, but that's why we're bringing it up. It's just like it's
We-
insane.
And we've very much established I'm a terrible employee.
It's just, there's just outrage going on online right now because they're like, how is she getting paid so little? I was like, I don't know. There's gonna be
WNBA
8
doesn't make a
people
lot of money.
2 months into her like doing that. I mean,
For-
imagine like a no-name player that's getting paid the same amount. That's almost like you have to pick up a second job kind of thing. 70K is plenty of money, but
I mean, and it really depends on where they even are playing. Because if that woman is playing in L.A., she can't afford that rent.
So,
Yeah.
well,
Not off 78K a year.
that's her WNBA salary.
she'll get more in investment. She'll be
But
Yeah,
I
very-
get that. I get
Oh, she's living in
But how the
Indiana.
fuck
She'll
do
be
you have-
fine.
that.
Indianapolis isn't cheap.
Not really.
I said Indiana, so who knows?
Okay.
Oh, it's because the team is based in Indianapolis, which is also pretty sure the only major city in Indiana.
But also, even in Indiana, shit's getting higher. It's not just like it's not. There's nowhere in the country that it hasn't been hitting. I mean, Jacksonville's getting fucking higher.
Actually, Terre Haute, Indiana, place
Where
of
the
IPU.
fuck is that?
It's just on the border with Illinois. You can still buy a 3-bedroom house for about $80,000.
Oh my
I
god!
know this because
never
my
mind.
friend bought a house there for $80,000, and I told her I was like, "That's like a year's salary for me. I could just go buy a house and then own it. Like it's just done."
Never mind. I stand corrected on that.
Sounds like an investment opportunity.
Well, the thing is, do you want to live there?
Correct. There's nothing there. They don't have a target. Like that's how nothing is. But
The older I get, the more I'm thinking about it.
the older I get, I don't know. But yeah, I know. I still toy with the idea of moving to Tampa, get my
No.
percentage back,
You
get my sales tax.
can get a baller ass house for 200K in Terre Haute.
Correct. It's yes, Midwest third size down cities
Mhm.
is the sweet spot for purchasing a house for basically no money.
How's the
Okay.
internet there, though? That's the
Fine.
big thing that matters.
Dude, you can get Starlink. Why does it matter? You'll have enough internet to do whatever you want with.
Fuck Starlink.
Yeah, I'm not grabbing that shit.
You're
I
just buttered because it doesn't
No.
work for you.
I use that shit for
It
work.
doesn't
It works great for work. It's terrible for latency and like if I'm rocking my Steam Deck at work, I'm not connecting to the internet. I mean, sometimes my job literally just consists of sitting there and watching other people work.
I mean, and honestly, if I'm going out that deep, have you never lived without the internet, baby back?
Me? I have.
I
Are
was
you
about to
talking
say,
about, are you talking about
I
me?
lived
Yeah,
in-
I've also lived without it.
I was about to say it's once you do it, it's not that fucking bad.
No, I know, but
gotta do
like
it.
a lot of the things now, like communication, everything relies on internet. Like that's
Yeah.
how we're doing this fucking podcast.
If I'm moving out into the sticks, I want to talk to nobody anyways.
True. We won't ever see you again, though. That's the thing.
This
It's gonna
is
be like you go to fucking Thailand for 6 months, and
Yeah.
all we just see is random showings of you behind in news cameras.
this isn't the right kind of sticks. If I'm going out to the sticks, there's way too much population density in Terre Haute.
The home costs have gone up, but if you go to the right place, again, you could buy a place in Nebraska, literally build a home. You could still build a mansion for sub $1 million in Nebraska.
What's in Nebraska?
Nothing. Land. That's what's in Nebraska. Land and people don't talk to you, which is the best kind of place to live.
I couldn't even
But-
point Nebraska out on a fucking map.
It's one of the square
it's-
ones.
No, it's not. I just
It's
found
not
it.
one of the square-
It's northeast of Colorado. I could drive there.
Southwest? Southeast.
No, it's northeast of Colorado. It's not square at all.
Oh, you're right. It's
Wow.
rectangular. Yeah.
It's not even right. You're not saving
It's
yourself.
got a
square
tumor. What do you want
rectangle.
from me?
Not rectangle or square. I think it's Wyoming and Colorado are the most square rectangle states we got.
I live in a fucking armpit. I can't say shit.
Fair.
You live in America's
You do.
dick. there's a difference.
Honestly, yeah.
I find living without the internet now is difficult. You can do it, you just have to like commit yourself to it. However, I also refuse to commit myself to it. So like for Kilimanjaro, we're not gonna have any internet. I am loading every gigabyte on my phone up of just TV shows and movies, and I'm gonna sit there and like on the side of a mountain and just watch fucking Modern Family.
Are you gonna bring like big old portable batteries to keep your phone charged?
I'm gonna bring battery packs.
They have electricity. They're
No, they
they're
don't.
not
It's not a problem.
mutually exclusive.
I will say this. I am. There's a thought in my mind where like, I could technically, because you have a weight limit, right? And the weight limit can be whatever you want, and you don't
Mhm.
really pay them much because it's Tanzania. Your dollar goes a long way. I was definitely considering like buying a Starlink and a TV and just having a porter, one of the guys that carries your stuff up, a Sherpa, just hike that shit on his back.
That is the
Just-
most like pretentious thing I've ever fucking heard.
You're
Let
right.
me climb this mountain. Let me
how
go
long are you
grab a
going-
flat screen and a
How long
Starlink
are you
set.
going out there for?
8-day hike.
You'll be fucking fine.
Go fuck
No, I
yourself.
like the idea of him getting a Starlink and a Sherpa to carry it. This is dope. You got to get like a 42, not too big, but big enough to be like enjoyable.
Right. Yeah,
No. If you're gonna do it, you got to do it all out. You got to get like an 80-inch, just because you can't go. You can't go.
Nah,
low.
because if the wind
But,
hits
like-
that guy wrong, you've lost your internet and the TV.
He's
These
off with
Sherpas
it.
aren't big humans.
But
You
like,
get
you're right.
you get a few more Sherpas to carry. What do you
Yeah.
want? If you're gonna do
I'll
it, you
have-
might as well go big or go home.
But like
That
at the
is
end of the
the-
day, right? I'm gonna have 2 Sherpas behind me with speakers for surround sound. One of them carrying a bar. It's gonna be. I will have a theater experience for an 8-day hike up the side of the tallest.
This
state
man
club
is just gonna get like 200 Sherpas, and some of them are gonna hold up walls, and some are gonna hold up roofs, and one's gonna
For-
hold like a furnace.
for
This
the
man is gonna be
simple
living in a
cost-
house for 8 days.
For the simple cost of a plane ticket, I'm sure Dread Pirate would be your personal bartender all the way up Mount Kilimanjaro. You could pay some
have him
Sherpas
walk
to carry
the
him. He doesn't even have to hike.
That was my dad's like suggestion because we're not sure my dad might make it all the way up,
Y'all are
and he's just
racist.
like, I'll pay somebody to carry me. he's like I make enough money. I'll pay someone to carry me.
You can't tell me you're
that
not
is-
going to stand at a bar that's being carried by like 3 Sherpas and serve drinks all the way up Mount Kilimanjaro.
It's gonna be well more than 3 Sherpas.
That is the whitest thing I've ever heard you say.
Yeah,
Hey,
I was
hey,
gonna say that too. I'm just
It's
yeah.
2024.
You
Other
agreed
races get
with
the
him.
money.
I did not. I said you go big or go home. I never said it was a good idea. I just said if you're gonna do it, you might as well just go big.
I count
I'm an
that as
enabler,
agreement.
not an agreeer.
I count that as an agreement, sir.
I'm an enabler. There's a difference.
He's like, go big or go home. Go murder somebody. Don't be a bitch.
Yeah, I'm gonna listen. Again, we're not doing. We're trying to sell this friend group very well, aren't we? I'm just the enabler of all the shitty, stupid, insane, cool ideas.
Oh, you're not the
we
first
have.
enabler.
No,
I'm not the last.
Hey, Kane is the original enabler.
3 edits.
This will say yes.
Sure. What's the,
Hey man, life's
What's
about
the worst that happens?
experiences. And if a couple juggalos want to give you a brother sister, what did they call it? They called it family
Family
style.
style.
Yeah. They want to give you a family style blowjob in the back of a shitty trans bar,
So-
then they can.
So here's a really interesting theory about podcasts, and hear me out, because when I told my significant other that this was occurring, I was like, oh, you should come on, it'd be funny. You'd get to meet the friend group for the first time on a podcast. And she's like, I don't want to ever be on a podcast where something's been recorded and that can be canceled later on. I was just like, and there's the canceled moment.
That's true, but none of us really matter. So canceling us, we're just gonna keep making the podcast. We're Joe Rogan this bitch. We're just gonna keep going.
Not only that, so what?
I also, I noticed something. I read a statistic, and I almost messed that word up. And I forget where, but it's like by like 2030, 60% of men age 25 to 35 will have a podcast.
Good for them.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
need to
it's
be
like-
heard. We need to be heard, bro.
Yeah.
The big thing behind that is probably people are tired of being afraid to talk about dumb shit. So if they do it anonymously on the internet, then we don't have any problems. And that's why we don't use our real names,
With-
boys and girls.
with-
well, boys
Yeah,
and
with
girl.
fair. That's why we use pseudonyms and say edits.
Yeah.
Whenever we
is-
accidentally use names.
I'm just
It is always funny to scare people with online intelligence.
Yeah.
It's my number one most fun thing to do. For example, I was playing PUBG on the Xbox with some individuals, and this guy wasn't playing very well, so we were yelling obscenities at him because we were on the same team.
As one does
And
on
then
the internet.
Yes. And then he just got like he got a little pissy, and he was just like, no shit. He was like, we're gonna team kill you. And he was just like, oh yeah, well I work for PUBG. And we're like, oh boy, this is gonna be great. So then I
My
went
dad
online.
is Stan Xbox.
That's exactly what it was. And then I went online and I found out who he was, and I was literally like, hey Steven, how's the wife? And he's like, what? And I was like, you shouldn't have used your real name, man. Like, this is a problem. So boys and girls always have fake accounts for everything.
It's true. And that's how they
Here's
keep
your real
hiring
name.
me, is nobody knows my real Facebook.
Or just be a ghost in an enigma like me.
Change my name every like 6 fucking years to see who remembers me from what time in my life.
Exactly. I remember there was a moment in time where I didn't know your real name, and I thought it was what we call you. And then some guy had asked Kane, and he was like, no, his name's this. I was like, son of a bitch.
I'm so glad
I didn't know my real name, and I was just like, really? I'm just like, oh yeah. Wait, I never told you.
I'm so glad I'm not the only one that actually had to ask Kane, hey, what's Dread Pirate's actual fucking name?
Yeah.
And Kane was like, yeah, it's this. I'm like, I thought it was this one, and they're like, no, that's just from like when he was like 20 years old. I'm like, okay, but is it this one? He's like, no, that's more recent. His actual name is this one. I'm like, okay. This man is Jason Bourne, apparently, with all of his identities.
Except he's the most identifiable person I know.
Yet you can't describe him to anybody.
I can, because I met his double in Dominican Republic. You should have seen the excitement and dread that came across my face when I was like, how the fuck did he get to the Dominican Republic, and why is he working in a gift shop? Like, I was worried you were like being an indentured servant and I had to come get you out.
When you travel in the world, you can do whatever it takes to get some money. I'm the proponent of that one. I did it pretty much everything when I was traveling in New Zealand.
I get it, but it's one of those things that, like, I never thought I'd see somebody that looks anything like you, but then when I did, I was like, what in the fever dream? Down to the goatee.
Oh,
We got to introduce him to your boy that everyone thinks is your twin and doesn't look anything like you.
he cut off his dreadlocks, so he does look nothing like me now.
I bet that's abrasive. That's probably a good word for it.
He got like perm style curly hair. Looked like the man just got a perm, but it's just naturally like that.
He went full hide.
Yeah, pretty much. I guess that's just how his hair naturally grows. Is super, super like curly.
Wild.
Lucky.
I wish I had hair.
I frequently ask myself that. The amount of times that I
it's
get
not like my hair.
toupee advertisements and then think about getting a toupee and then realize how hard it is to just explain to people that overnight I grew an entire head of hair.
He's just swallowing the pride pill at that point.
At this point, baby back, you just gotta accept that you're going bald and just do the man thing and shave all that shit off.
I am.
You will look
bodybuilder.
fine.
I am like, I'd say 2 to 3 years from just shaving. Like, I have to get married first. That way, it requires legal action to get rid of me. That's the real trick.
Are you gonna get a toupee for the wedding?
No.
You should.
I am growing the world's worst beard, though, so that's
He
a
might not
positive.
get a toupee for the wedding, but we could get him a toupee for the wedding.
Very fair.
I'll drop some money on this
And-
one. If we get it for you, will you wear it at your wedding? And that's the only time we ask you to wear it.
No, but see,
Never see it again. Throw it in a fucking fire for all I care. By the way, it's gonna be a nice toupee if we do.
Wedding ceremony, I'll be my natural. But between the ceremony and the reception, the 10 minutes in between is when I put it on and come out and just see who says something.
I'm just
First
saying,
person is it.
Gorilla Glue's hard to get off, dude.
It is. It is.
That's a threat. Damn.
Nah, it's always a promise when it comes from him. You just gotta watch out now.
Who's I forget, is it Fabio? The dude like has like long black hair that's always on
Fabio.
those romance novels and whatnot.
Yeah, it's Fabio.
Yeah, we're just gonna get you that as your toupee, so that way you can have like luscious long hair
Long,
for
luscious
10 minutes of your
hair.
life.
The amount of people that I see and I make the comment, God, I would scalp them, should be a concern for everybody.
I feel like I know the title of this podcast for this one.
Almost scalp
I
somebody.
I think it's the gang gets racist, but who knows?
That's not far off from what I was thinking, but we might have to change the last word.
Where does this get posted? I found it on YouTube, but is it anywhere else?
If you're gonna listen
On
to
most
it, listen
streaming
to it on
services.
yeah. If you're gonna listen to it, try to listen to it on YouTube in the beginning. But it should be on all the streaming services. YouTube's just the easiest one to get monetized.
Yeah.
So
So it's always on. I was gonna say, so it's always on YouTube. It's posted at 6 a.m. Fridays. Last week we didn't have an episode because we decided to take a break. A couple of us weren't feeling too hot, and we didn't want to like do a really bad podcast just to have one. So usually it's on that. I'm working on getting it on Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, but right now it's on YouTube, Spotify, and Anchor, formerly known, or podcasters formerly known as Anchor. And I'm working on getting the other accounts verified and everything so we could be everywhere we want.
Interesting.
and eventually we'll get around to starting a Discord and a Patreon, and we'll set some substantial amount of money on the Patreon, and that'll get you access to the Discord, so motherfuckers could game with us. We could jump into Helldivers. We could make fun of you for not coming to the ways. You know, usual stuff.
The usual verbal assault that is given.
Yeah. By the way,
We're kind of fun to game with, man.
Helldivers update. The automatons are back, stronger than ever, still getting their asses kicked.
Absolutely. Because the only good automatons are dead automatons.
It's true.
I have a question. I've asked this and no one's really given me an answer.
What?
So like I'm scrolling through YouTube Shorts and I come across this one guy. I forget his name, but it's like the automaton logs that we find like for lore and whatnot. Are those logs real? Where it's talking about like the last automaton and like how they feel and like the Illuminati, whatever they want to call themselves. It's like talking about us.
No, those aren't real.
Okay.
I mean, while I'm
No,
sure
no,
they're
no,
not
no.
real, it would not surprise me if the game devs have weird accounts that are just adding weird, interesting shit. Because
I mean, there is stuff like that on there. Like, there's a whole
Yeah.
thing. If there was like right after the update, I remember walking to the front of the ship and hearing the automatons speaking. This was right after we took all the last planets, and we thought we wiped them out. You could hear them talking to you. So I'm sure it's all like in-game lore real. But no,
Yeah.
of course it's not real. That's treasonous speak.
No, I'm talking about like it was like in-game lore real kind of.
automatons don't have souls.
They're very much like gingers in that fashion. They're probably all just
That's a lie.
Dude, we should
Alright.
get
So-
Shelvo Baggins on this thing.
Oh my god.
Oh my
Gingers
God.
just store all the souls in the freckles, man. They have them. They're just not their own.
That's
she
fair.
would be a fucking catch on this.
Oh yeah.
Just
Alright.
the obscenities that get tossed at people from her.
I think she's coming to town to come visit in a couple months. I don't know. Her and the wife figured up something. So
All right, I got the episode name for this one.
the gang gets stereotypical. I dig it.
Yeah, because we can't use other words that might like get us demonetized. So saying stereotypical is fine.
That is true.
And if YouTube wants to yell at us, they could fight me.
All right.
I don't care.
Let's get back on topic. Fucking Star Wars Outlaws, guys. Who's excited about this?
Isn't it not coming to Steam?
Do you see the controversy behind it already?
No. There's already
Have you-
controversy.
Yep,
not coming to
hasn't even come out. There's already controversy about it. So Ubisoft being Ubisoft. So you guys all watched the trailer for it, correct?
Yeah.
Nope. It's
Okay.
not coming to Steam, so I'm not paying attention.
So this is going to be a spoiler, but it's a fucking trailer. It's right. It's on the internet. You can watch it if you want. Part of the trailer highlighted doing shit with Jabba the Hutt as part of the game.
Okay.
Love it.
And of course,
Businessman.
it's a big selling point being a big character from almost every movie that involved going into the underworld, and a big part in Clone Wars. So they highlighted that as part of the game you get to play and do missions for and stuff like that. But when they came out with the pricing for everything,
Oh yeah.
it's behind a paywall. You have to buy season 1 to get to the Jabba the Hutt missions.
Okay.
I thought you were about to talk about its digital deluxe is like $130 because one game is like that.
Hear me out.
People are pissed.
Hear me out. It's fucking Ubisoft, who did not see this coming. I knew immediately when they announced this game that there was going to be some kind of season pass. There was going to be some kind of weird paywall and microtransactions. It's like buying an EA game and expecting to not be disappointed.
And I get that, but like, I'm on the side of single player games shouldn't have season passes. What the fuck is the point? Like, I get wanting more things, but
Money.
Money.
Everyone can complain, but everyone's still gonna buy it, and they're still gonna make millions and millions of dollars.
I'm on the side that I'm gonna wait to play that game for at least a year, when it's all included into one package and it's on discount.
Yeah.
I have a Steam Deck. I'm going to pirate it. Not going to lie. I might not get what's behind the paywall, but all I want to play is the storyline. But also, like, yes, I agree. Single-player games should not be locked behind season passes and paywalls and all that happy jazz. But, again, it's Ubisoft, man. There's fucking season passes for Assassin's Creed now. What? Why would we expect anything different? This is how that company's making money. It's also, copyright's also owned by Disney. Like, what? Fucking Disney's behind a paywall nowadays.
That's fair.
You can't just go buy Disney DVDs because they keep them locked up in a vault. The mouse needs his dollar. So, I don't understand why people are grumpy about this. Like, I get it. I get why they're grumpy, but it was expected. At least
I think
from
people
us.
expected it, but we're still angry at the expectation.
While I get why people are angry, because while it is technically not false advertising, putting it in the trailer for the initial game, it is fucking feels like it, bro. It absolutely does.
Every Call of Duty trailer for every season of Warzone always shows the really cool skins that cost you money to get.
Yeah, but that's also a fucking online massive multiplayer game. Not this thing that could, for all intents and purposes, be put on a fucking disc, not be digital.
Kids, discs are what games used to be on before they were all online.
And maybe that's me just getting old.
It's 100% you just getting old, dude.
This is get off my lawn kind of conversation.
As I look to my left to my Burning Crusades PC CD-ROM box. This is us getting old.
At least you knew what you were getting. You knew when you played that game. It was like, I'm gonna get charged $13 a month to play this every month. But you know what? All my friends are fucking playing it
for the rest of my goddamn life. Actually, to be fair, I lost the fucking Warcraft account in the divorce. So
rough.
That is I'm sorry, that's
one episode we're just gonna go through the divorce. Don't worry, it's great. As someone who lived with them, it was a fantastic time for all parties involved.
I mean, the ex-wife's moving nearby me. She will be within walking distance of my house, and they bought the place, so probably the rest of her natural-born life.
Holy shit.
Also her mom's natural-born life. She bringing that bitch with her, too.
Is this good or bad, or is this like a hey, not topic, not podcast talk?
It's indifferent for me. I love my ex-wife. I'll always love my ex-wife. We just grew apart when I quit killing people for a living, and
Okay.
How are any of these podcasts ever monetized?
They're not yet. That's the best part.
So behind the scenes of everything, I mark everything as we have explicit content, and if you're under the age of 18, don't fucking watch us.
Yeah.
But if you do, it's a you problem.
But
oh my god.
Like, I just recognize the fact that her mom's kind of a freeloader, and she followed us to 3 different states and 2 different countries. Like, that's what she does. I don't think she's worked more than a week in her life since I've known my ex-wife, which was high school. So, yeah,
Nice.
that's just how she be.
It happens. Ugh.
Yeah, I lived with you post divorce.
Yeah, that was probably the
Yeah.
best times. Post-divorce was such a fun time.
I was there the
Post-divorce
whole
really
time.
fun. Yeah. Dread Pirate and I. Dread Pirate showed up at like mint time, and I was there for the beginning and after. I was just like, my parents didn't get divorced, but now I feel like I can be a divorcee child. You know, I have the trauma that goes along with it.
You're not wrong.
Oh no, I was there the whole time. I was there from almost day one.
I remember this the first time I
I
ever met
remember
you.
when they started dating. Actually, it was day one.
Yeah. Well,
I became friends with y'all. Yeah, kind of not towards the end, but like it was like a year before that, I think. But who the fuck knows?
I mean, good times. Good times to be said for all. And it was a pretty
Well-
mutually assured divorce, so we didn't like go after each other. So I don't got any complaints.
Yeah.
well, and everyone's happy now.
Yeah,
Well, I'm
Everyone's
happy, and
better
that's all
off.
that matters.
very fair.
You're happy and the kid's happy.
Yeah.
I'm
trying to figure out what the fuck their season pass is going to... $25? Jesus.
But
Oh, now
for Star Wars Outlaws.
Yeah.
So you gotta buy this. What is it? A $60 or $70 game? It's got to be one of those two.
It's probably a $70 game with the $25 season pass.
Nope.
Which is it an $80 game?
Oh no, I'm just saying. Nope. I'd never think about getting it.
Oh, yeah, no, it's probably one of these because now the new trend is there's no longer just AAA. Now there's quadruple A, which are these $70 games coming out.
Well, there's Triple I. We can talk about that. That's a new fun thing Valve is doing.
What is it?
So Valve, in their infinite wisdom, praise Lord the Bee,
Gaben, yes.
yes, Lord Gaben, decided that quadruple A games were fucking stupid, and created the Triple I game, or the Triple I Awards, which is an award ceremony just for independent and like roguelike games. And he's got some bangers for the first award, some possible bangers. But this would give like things like Binding of Isaac or
Like Dave the Diver.
yeah, Enter the Gungeon. It would give them an award ceremony, essentially. To be fair, probably the better games of the last 10 years, excluding the last 18 months, because we've gotten some bangers in the last 18 months.
That's dope.
I'm trying to see if I can find... He had a little blurb on Steam a few days ago.
Mm-hmm.
I will have to, however, remove myself. I am an old man, and 10 o'clock Eastern time is well past my bedtime.
That's fair. We're probably going to
Fair.
close it up soon. Well,
Yeah.
we'll see.
Everybody.
We'll see you next time.
All right, everyone.
Have a
Thank
good
you
night.
for joining.
Love.
Have a good night, brother. Okay, so
But yeah, so
I feel like we need to take a moment of silence
Oh yeah.
for Gambit.
Did Gambit die? I thought you were talking about the boson guy, Mr.
No.
Higgs.
Gambit?
No.
Wait,
no, no, no.
Gambit? Like the guy who played Gambit in
No,
the
no, no,
X-Men?
no, no, no. So, clearly, either of you haven't been watching X-Men '97.
No, I refuse to give
No.
Disney money.
Bro, it's so fucking good.
Yeah, and I will pirate the fuck out of it in like 6 months when all the hype has died down and it's easy to find.
But-
Yeah,
So
this
I-
episode is not getting monetized. This
This,
time.
they killed Gambit last week.
Damn.
Bro, he went out like
Didn't
a G though.
I was gonna say, I feel like Gambit. Before I say something
Yeah.
that gets me in trouble.
This episode is absolute spoilers for the show if you haven't read the comic books, because they are based on the comics.
Yeah, I was gonna say, doesn't he
He dies.
doesn't he become
Gambit died in an age of apocalypse. So
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like.
That's what
Sad,
X-Men
but-
97 is based after.
Oh, so yeah. Why are we surprised?
He died, but he came back.
Okay.
Oh, as in Marvel Zombies, but I don't know if that's what they're
no,
called.
No,
he came
but-
back as another superhero or
Yeah.
paranormal anti-hero. I don't know how to explain what death is.
Is he part of
to a
Dark
toddler.
Avengers or part of?
No, this is immediately after Apocalypse.
Oh, okay.
This story is immediately after Apocalypse, immediately after the original series, like 90s series ended, is when they're picking up like a few years down the road.
Is he gonna
So
become
Gambit,
Death?
I don't know yet. Well, no, he was, I remember now I'm thinking about it. So he was the writer, one of the four horsemen for Apocalypse, but he wasn't dead. He was still alive.
No. If I remember right, I'm trying to look it up because it's been decades since I've read any of the comics. But if I remember right, Gambit dies. There's like a 6-month period where they're pumping out comics, like old X-Men comics. And then Death appears, and it's not Lady Death like Deadpool Death. It's just Death. And it come to find out further on after he appears, it's Gambit. He just comes back as Death.
Okay.
This is all.
We'll have to look deeper into that.
This is all
I'll have to.
pre-internet, so I do not know. It's hard to find this kind of shit.
But yeah, in the storyline that they're following, which is the comic book storyline, he died, but they made it look dope.
As they should.
And it hit me just as hard as like knowing he'd be or anything in the past had.
Upon the return of Apocalypse, Gambit submits himself to the villain and is transformed into one of the Apocalypse's horsemen, Death. Okay.
Yeah, but he wasn't dead.
Okay. So
He was still alive.
That's pre-death. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. In this episode, he is the episode he actually dies in.
Nice. Well, fuck it. I might, if hopefully it pops up on DVD, but if it doesn't, I might get Disney Plus for a little bit and watch it.
It's worth a check out, man. It's all the original. Like, it's definitely not exactly meant for the kiddier version of watching these shows.
No.
Like some of the past ones. So it gets real deep into the politics and the psychology of everything in the show and how these characters feel about things on a much deeper level. So definitely worth a watch.
Weird question. Since you've seen the series, does Wolverine kill people, or is he still restricted to only killing robots because they won't show blood?
That one.
Okay.
In that sense, it's still the same.
Then it'll hit me in the member berries.
Exactly.
What answer did you give? 1 or 2?
Dose.
Yeah, they still don't show they show
Alright.
people. They show people actually dying now. That's a little bit more of a change because this last episode they showed a bunch of people dying.
I know. I haven't
But it's
fully
still not
watched it.
gory as fuck like it could be.
I know I haven't fully watched the series. I walked out when my brother was watching it, and I saw a couple of scenes that I don't want to spoil you, Corey. But I'm like, man, this is actually really good. I was very afraid of it being just like another new age, try to be an old age cartoon of comic book heroes.
No,
No, they did a good job. They did a good job with it.
if you want a good animated superhero show that is definitely centered around adults, Invincible's the way to go.
Yeah, everybody's told me.
Absolutely.
Invincible's
Right now-
so good.
I'll be honest, I will watch it, but I am very consumed by an anime that people have told me you're going to get consumed by it, and it's One Piece. So
Oh yeah,
once I'm done grinding through that, yeah,
you fucked up. There is no being done grinding through One Piece. That's like saying I'm done watching Dragon Ball Z.
well,
I've
you
been
see,
watching
I'm
One
on
Piece for like 4 years now, and I'm
on
only
episode.
on episode 700. And
Oh, I was gonna say I'm on episode 452, and I've been grinding it for about like 3 weeks. So
I
I'm
don't-
making good time.
I don't think I can grind watching anything for that like that. So fair.
I feel like it's more like a month and a half.
Holy
But it
shit.
just felt like 3 weeks. But yeah, no, I'm getting through it.
That's
But I
still
do want
a
to
lot.
watch Invincible. I want to watch all the other animes. But when you were talking about Gambit, I'm like, oh, I just finished this. I just finished Impel Down arc, and oh my god, my heart broke.
That's a good arc. The next
It
one
is.
is good.
Marine Ford, I've heard, is some of the best.
Marine Ford's a fun one. Marine Ford is an emotional one.
Yeah, I already got spoiled with some things that happened, but it's not from people. I blame whoever wrote episode titles. And if I'm not going to say anything, but if you know what I'm talking about, good for you. If you don't know what I'm talking about, don't pay attention.
You just read the titles.
Well, because I was scrolling down because I was like, what
Don't
episode am I on?
fucking read the titles. They tell you about the episode.
I know. I was scrolling because I'm like, oh, fuck, what episode am I on? Because my brother is also watching it, and he's very far behind me. because we share the same. I share my Crunchyroll account,
That's fair.
and I was going like, "Oh God, what episode am I on?" And then I just glanced. I'm like, "That's not fair." I'm like,
But
"I know
also-
I'm not there."
But also, even knowing, because of how long that anime is and how invested you get into a lot of the characters in the anime, even
Yeah.
knowing what's going to happen, it's still going to hit you.
Oh yeah, no, I'm prepared to cry. Listen, I cry for animes, and that's really pretty much it.
I've teared up during One Piece, but I've spent a lot of time investing into One Piece too. So
Yeah.
there is an end, though. They are finally ending it.
Oh yeah, Eggman Island is the last arc. Like
Right.
they're in their final arc. Which good, and I can't wait for it to end so that way I have a finishing point.
Okay, so one last topic before we close it out, because I think this is bullshit. Elon Musk charging $1 per tweet.
Sounds like we're not tweeting anymore.
I pulled that up. Where is it? There it
So
is.
the very little research I've done, it's
To help kill bot accounts and fake accounts. That's
That's
You're-
stupid. You can do
gonna
so
ruin
many
your whole.
things.
You're gonna ruin your whole platform, bro.
I
The
honestly don't
dude
think he
already-
cares.
I think the platform is already kind of ruined because
I like it because it
Shit,
reminds me
exactly.
of a faster paced 4chan, but
Fair.
that's neither here nor there.
I was. Is that a compliment?
But he's charging, from what I've read, he's charging $1 per tweet for the first couple tweets you do to prove you're not a bot. It's basically, you can create an account, you can lurk all you want, but if you want to start trolling, you need to fork up some cash, just because he doesn't expect bot farms and stuff to fork up the cash. Now, while
he's very much underestimating people.
I also just saw that last year apparently he did something of the sort in New Zealand and the Philippines, where he charged them a $1 a year subscription in order to access key features.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to find a way to make it profitable somehow. It's not a true business unless there is a net profit. And it's not like Twitter was doing great before he said he was going to buy it. Their stock price jumped because he said he was going to buy it. But it's hard to make money through social media platforms. Not as a user. They've made it relatively easy to make something as a user, but as a owner of Twitter or Facebook or fucking MySpace or Instagram, which I recognize is just Facebook 2.0, TikTok, stuff like that. It's hard to, you don't have a path forward to profit without ads, which is hard to do on social media because you can't control what people are going to talk about. Or at least you shouldn't, because I'm a free speech advocate, even if it's bad speech. I think you should be able to argue with anybody the fuck you want to argue with. And it's hard to get people to sponsor ads where they don't know if it's going to be a pro-fascist movement or a pro-communist movement. I mean, fuck, the Taliban's on Twitter, or X, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. So I get that he needs to find a way to make it profitable. The issue is I am a true believer in something Elon said when he was buying it and trying to get a lower price, of that probably 60% of Twitter users are bots. Just being on X, probably 60% of Twitter users are bots.
Mm-hmm.
So if this curbs that, it might tank any attempt at a profit he's getting now, but overall it'll end up becoming a better social media experience, because when you want hockey highlights, you're not going to scroll through and see people being like, pussy in bio. It's that has nothing to do with hockey, homie.
Right.
I'm about it. I'm gonna click it, but you're just taking me on a divergent path. I'm here to see hockey highlights or UFC highlights or Formula Drift, which arguably Reddit's the better Formula Drift option.
I was going to say there's other websites you can use to find the highlights and whatnot. But what I'm
But
wondering is,
it's
is he
a
just
shiny
gonna,
tactic.
is he just gonna like stamp it on everybody, like even the verified that we know are humans, like not bots people? Like those are going to be like they have to pay X for
For what
Oh,
I
fuck
whatever
no,
amount of
man.
tweets.
I have no stake in this. I do not
Yeah, I
use
don't.
Twitter. I have never used Twitter or X. And I don't plan on ever starting to use Twitter or X.
I have a personal Twitter account, and of course, we as a podcast have one. But
from
if
what
I
I've
start-
read,
On my personal life, I don't plan on using
It
Twitter.
is-
I apologize.
it is for new accounts
Uh-huh.
and will be posthumously given to accounts that are doing bot-like things.
Okay.
So if you have like a high post count that doesn't make sense for a human to post that amount, you'll get hit with this charge, and it's really just a check to see if you're a human. If you enjoy Twitter and you get hit with this, pay the dollar. It's a fucking dollar. If you can't afford the dollar, you probably shouldn't be on fucking Twitter.
That's fair.
Like, go out and do something. It's a dollar. But yeah, so new accounts or accounts that exhibit bot-like behavior. And I don't think it's a terrible tactic. While I think there probably is a better option. I can't think of one, and I'm not Elon Musk, so let him do with what he wants with his fucking companies.
And I will argue while he spent a lot of money, it did put no dent on his fortune.
Well, that's the
And
thing
to-
is he's wealthy, not rich. So it's not
Yeah,
like he
he is.
has a large liquid amount of money floating around.
And if this shit tanks, it's like, yes, it's going to suck for him, but it's not going to break him. He'll be fine for the rest of his life and the rest of his kids' life and the rest of his kids' life. He wealthy.
You're not wrong. Like, he wealthy. He has assets that can be made into a liquid cash flow. He has the ability to basically buy whatever the fuck he wants. But it's not like he has a bank account with $1 billion chilling in it.
Right.
It just wouldn't be smart if you, and this is not financial advice, but if you got $100,000 sitting around in a bank account and you ain't making your money make money, you're a fucking moron. Like that's just, it's hard life lesson.
Yeah. This is true, though.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that, like, if he needed to go buy a yacht, it would take him a few days, if not a few weeks, to get that money together to purchase that yacht.
Right. What I think is cool is, have y'all checked out The Gentleman yet?
The Gentleman.
Guy Ritchie show on Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no.
Wasn't impressed.
I liked how that went into the concept you're talking about, though, about how there's a big difference between having money and being rich and being wealthy. And then it delved really deep into it to the point of I liked it because they delved into the main guy in the show that's trying to buy the property, talking to the dude who owns it, who's now the Duke of this area. And they get into, he owes me money. So, and he ends up trading him all these very, very high expensive wines from the wine cellar and high priced wines. And then it like has a little snippet to the side where it tells you what the wine is and like the going rate and how where it comes from and stuff. It gives you a little information on how what makes that piece of item such a wealthy item.
Yeah, well, it goes back to the assets have value. When you hit a certain amount of liquid value, you need to have that value somewhere else because the bank's only going to insure you for so much. Like,
Right.
it's just not safe to have large sums of money chilling in a bank. You want it somewhere else. And there are riskier and less risky propositions to put that in. But if it is an asset that is gaining, what's it called? Caveat, I'm kind of retarded.
That's fine.
If it's an asset that is gaining equity, then your money's making money.
Right.
I.e. a house or a classic car that's going to shoot up. Like, fuck, I remember Porsche 944 turbos. Like, when I was getting out of high school, you can pick them up for $2,000. Right now, it's hard to find one for under 20. Supras.
Bro.
Supra in the mid 2000s was the best investment you could fucking make. Like,
I just saw one at the Toyota dealership today.
yeah, I almost bought
I'm
one
assuming
for
it was
$6 grand, and twin turbo, 6-speed, whole 9 yards. Old lady drove it. Almost bought one for $6 grand, and I fucking kick myself in the face every time I think about it because I should have bought that motherfucker. It'd be worth 160 grand right now. It's good to make your money make money, and it's cool that Guy Ritchie got into that. I just couldn't get. I wasn't super impressed with the show. He's definitely done better shit, but he's one of those directors and writers and producers that hit it off so fucking good in the beginning, and then it's just been a downhill roll since then. So, and I'm not saying The Gentleman's the bottom of the fucking hill. It's probably a good bump. He probably got some altitude off the Gentleman, but like compared to Snatch,
Nah, you're right.
And it sucks that I set my bar that high for him, but you know, fucking do good, then don't do so good. That's on you, man. Talent's there.
Yeah.
But I think we are about an hour and a half, a little more than an hour and a half into this. Let's fucking call it. I'm hungry. I need some din-din.
You good? I'm down.
All right, let's hit the shout outs. Where can they find us, Bipo?
So, thank you for listening. This episode has been very interesting. If you got all the way to here, thumbs up. You could find us on Instagram. Haven't really posted a lot there, but you can find us on X or Twitter, like we were just talking about, with at the depths of Jikoku, all one word. Or you can find us on YouTube, the same at. We release weekly episodes Friday 6 a.m. So that way, when you're driving to work, you're able to listen to us or put us on while you're working. You know, at the end of it, if you listen to us on Podcasters or Anchor, or whatever they like to call themselves nowadays, there's like a little Q&A. It's like, oh, how did you like it? And then always leave a comment on what we can improve on or like what you want to hear us talk about. We usually try to talk about things we like to talk about or just like random things we think of. But thank you for listening, and y'all have a great night.
Appreciate you guys. Have a good week.
One of these days, we got to explain to him what Jikoku is. But yeah, appreciate everybody for listening. Glad Baby Back could join us. We're going to try to get more people on. And if you're interested in coming on, you got some interesting ideas, hit us up. Other than that, I think we out.
Peace out, guys.
Peace out.
Houston, I'm getting a little fluctuation in the AC voltage now. Roger. 50 meter maybe, huh? Stand by. Looking good to us. You're still looking good. It's coming up 3 minutes.